Hey everyone, Christy Wimber here. Welcome to just spend a few moments with me. I really hope to encourage you in this area that honestly has been an area that has been so concerning for me the last several years because it's real. And that is the topic of loneliness. Do you know that in the UK, the highest statistic for loneliness was amongst clergy? So pastors are familiar with loneliness on a level that congregants are unaware of. And it is a very hard thing to be a leader and to feel as if you have everyone and no one at the same time. Lots of leaders, you're listening to this, you're going, that's exactly how I feel. I feel like I have everyone and no one. And that loneliness thing is really real because the stage can be quite a deceitful place, I think, because it can give the illusion that there's this, person that has all these people, but, lots of people have lots of fans and no friends. So don't mistake fans for friends. Don't mistake, being on a platform as having lots of relationships. Breaking down some of these misperceptions. I mean, God himself said it's not good for man to be alone. And, we take that text and use it for marriage. And absolutely, but it's about relationship actually. It's about connection. And what loneliness deprives people of is connection. And what we need is connection. We need connection with God and we need connection with other people. And so many of you are going to be watching this and you're like, I just feel like I'm just alone all the time. And there is a difference between being alone and being lonely. And I think that's a misperception. I've gone through lots of seasons where I have felt really alone. And I've had thousands of people around me. So we've got to break down these false perceptions that when we see somebody that they have it all, that they look like they have more than, it's an illusion. And lots of people, I'll just tell you this, especially in the church, are very lonely people. And of all places, the church should not only be the safest, but it should be the place where people are connecting and where loneliness. So I just want to encourage you in this, if you yourself are lonely. And I also want to kind of break down a few things that I think we as the church, to be honest with you, I think we have empowered loneliness. Like our hands are not clean when it comes to this. So if this is like one of the top things that statistics are showing us that people are struggling with and it's affecting their health, we as the church, our hands are not clean because we have empowered this. One, we've empowered that leaders are superhuman. We've empowered where they're like almost like superheroes, which has fed the celebrity culture. I mean, we're so made to worship that if we're not worshiping God, we'll worship other things. But we as the church have fed this. I mean, here's the thing. The ego is a powerful weapon. And the ego will betray you in every way. But we as the church, we have fed the celebrity mindset. We've empowered it. We've empowered that we are above, the people, we're above pain. Vulnerability is rarely seen upon platforms. And when it's seen, it's very like just a little bit. And the truth is people are hurting. And at the end of the day, to those of you that are leaders, like people do not relate to your strengths. They relate to your humanity. They relate to who you are as a person, and that vulnerability is actually what creates safety. Safety is what creates people being honest. Being honest is what, we're creating spaces of truth, and where there's truth, then that's where freedom is taking place. And I think we don't see a lot of freedom in the church because people don't feel safe to tell, what they're struggling with, and they don't want to be honest because they're so afraid of judgment. So, that loneliness thing, so many times there's two things here. One, people stay away because they're afraid of being judged. But there's also the real element where people don't connect because they don't know how to connect. So one, I would say for those of you that are distant and don't have relationships, like you've got to take the risk of this. Like, and I know, especially for the leader, I'm saying to you, be intentional with relationships. And can I just say this? Like lots of leaders I know, their friends are people that are on their payroll. And I'm like, they may be your friend to some level, but if they're not on your payroll, are they still your friend? Like, leaders, get people outside of your world, get outside of, where you're leading. Your friends that don't get anything from you except friendship, that's going to tell you who your real friends are. At the end of the day, they're not getting, anything from it in the context of visibility or platform or money. I hate to say it, but to the leader, because the ministry, comes in season, comes and goes, and you want to have people around your life that aren't there for all of the extras. And the people that come in at the top of your influence are usually the ones that end up at your throat, to be honest. And isn't that encouraging? But you've got to get some friends around you that are outside your world, that are relationships that you're going through life with, and that you're investing in this. We've got to be intentional to not live lonely. And so I do hope those of you that are watching that are lonely, and that you will feel encouraged, but also, reach outside of your world and take some risks relationally. And those of you that, in churches, be kind to your leaders. Don't just assume that they have everything, and invite them to dinner, invite them to parties, invite them to be so COVID safe, of course, but invite them into things. And the people in your church, the people around you, invite people in different ways to connect. Because if these are the statistics, this means that we are missing the very true fact that a lot of people that live around us are incredibly lonely, and we don't want that. Nobody wants that. And so I do hope you're encouraged today, and I do hope that after you hear this, you're going to be like, I'm going to connect to people, and I can't wait to hear those stories.